Welcome back. 1986 quarter dollar stands as a significant chapter in the long and fascinating story of the United States Mint and its production of the quarter dollar coin. This coin, minted with the familiar profile of George Washington on the obverse and the proud American eagle on the reverse, continues to capture the attention of collectors and historians alike. The 1986 USA quarter dollar may appear to be just another common coin in circulation, but its story stretches far beyond its face value of 25 cents. Over time, this coin has become a fascinating piece of American monetary history, and in rare cases, select versions and pristine specimens of the 1986 quarter have reached astronomical figures in the collector's market. Some experts and enthusiasts even associate it with legendary worth, attaching to it a face value of $86 million in symbolic reflection of its rarity, condition, and the immense cultural and historical significance it carries in the world of numismatics. When examining the 1986 quarter, one must first understand the environment and context in which it was produced. The mid-1980s were years of both technological advancement and nostalgic reverence for traditional coinage. The U.S. Mint, operating from its various branches, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, continued to produce the Washington quarter with the eagle reverse design, a design that had been in circulation since 1932. The coin's composition remained consistent with that introduced in 1965, a copper nickel clad over a pure copper core, resulting in a durable coin well suited for circulation. Although millions of these coins were struck for everyday use, their story takes on new life when one considers the variations in minting, condition, and historical significance that have since driven certain pieces into the realm of extraordinary value. The 1986 quarter bears the image of George Washington on its obverse, designed by John Flanagan, based on the bust sculpted by Jean-Antoine Houdon. The obverse inscriptions include Liberty at the top, the national motto, In God We Trust, to the left, and the date, 1986, at the bottom. The reverse design, also by Flanagan, features an eagle with outstretched wings, clutching a bundle of arrows, surrounded by two olive branches, a symbol of America's readiness for peace but preparedness for defense. The inscriptions include United States of America, E pluribus unum, and quarter dollar. On the surface, these details might appear commonplace, but collectors know that even minute differences in strike, condition, or errors can transform a simple coin into a treasure worth tens of thousands, or even millions, of dollars. In 1986, the Philadelphia Mint produced quarters without a mint mark, while the Denver Mint struck coins bearing their D mint mark. Additionally, the San Francisco Mint produced proof coins with the S mint mark, intended specifically for collectors and not circulation. The Philadelphia and Denver issues were struck in the hundreds of millions, ensuring widespread availability. However, not all coins are created equal. While most entered circulation and experienced the wear and tear of everyday use, a few remained untouched, preserved in pristine condition by chance or by the careful attention of collectors. These coins, graded as MS 67 or higher by professional grading services, are the ones that can command astonishing prices in auctions and private sales. Their gleaming surfaces, sharp details, and lack of imperfections make them prized possessions for those who understand their rarity and beauty. What makes the 1986 quarter particularly intriguing is the occasional discovery of minting errors, unintended variations that occurred during the striking process. These errors can include off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, or missing clad layers. Each error tells a unique story of the coin's creation and can dramatically increase its value. For instance, a 1986 quarter with a double die obverse, where the date or lettering appears doubled, could sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on its condition and clarity. Similarly, a coin struck on the wrong planchette, perhaps using a blank intended for a dime or foreign coin, becomes a rarity worth examining under the collector's lens. Such era coins embody the unexpected marvels of minting history, transforming a simple 25-cent piece into a remarkable artifact valued far beyond its face value. Collectors and historians often trace the journey of the Washington quarter through decades of design changes and societal shifts. The 1986 issue occupies a transitional moment in American numismatics, coming just before the monumental shift in 1999, when the U.S. Mint introduced the 50-state quarters program. Thus, the 1986 quarter represents the closing years of the traditional eagle reverse design, a design that had been part of American pockets and commerce for over half a century. For this reason, many numismatists view it as a symbol of continuity and heritage, a final echo of an era before the explosion of modern commemorative and state-themed coinage. The question of value, however, remains central to the allure of the 1986 quarter. While the vast majority of these coins remain worth their face value in circulation, certain examples have achieved remarkable prices in auctions and private sales. A flawless 1986 P or 1986 D quarter graded MS 68, exhibiting impeccable surfaces and sharp strike, can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint, when preserved in perfect PR 70 deep cameo condition, are also highly desirable among collectors, representing the pinnacle of minting precision. Beyond the objective grading, however, lies a realm of symbolic value, where collectors and enthusiasts assign worth based on the coin's story, its representation of American history, and its role as a tangible connection to the nation's economic and cultural journey. In some narratives within the numismatic community, the 1986 quarter has been mythologized as a coin of immense worth, symbolically valued at $86 million. While no single coin has realized such a price in reality, this symbolic valuation serves as a metaphor for its historical and sentimental importance. It reflects the idea that every coin carries a piece of the nation's past, an artifact of craftsmanship, and a witness to countless transactions and lives. To imagine the 1986 quarter as a multimillion-dollar treasure is to celebrate the deeper meaning of numismatics itself, the transformation of everyday objects into timeless stories of value, memory, and identity. The world of coin collecting thrives on discovery. Many people have found extraordinary pieces hidden in plain sight, coins tucked away in old jars, drawers, or collections passed down through generations. The possibility that an unassuming 1986 quarter might hold hidden value inspires countless enthusiasts to examine their pocket change more closely. Each scratch, mint mark, and detail becomes a clue, a whisper from history urging further exploration. For some, the search becomes a lifelong passion. For others, it is a thrilling adventure sparked by curiosity and the promise of fortune. Understanding the true worth of a coin involves more than just market prices. It requires knowledge of grading, minting processes, historical context, and collector demand. A 1986 quarter found in circulation today might be worn and worth only 25 cents, yet another preserved in uncirculated condition could attract significant attention from collectors. Coins encapsulate moments in time, and their condition reflects the journey they have traveled. Whether exchanged countless times across states or sealed in a protective holder from the moment of minting, each coin carries its own narrative. The 1986 quarter also serves as a reminder of the artistry and dedication of the U.S. Mint. Every strike, every detail in the design, represents the culmination of decades of experience and craftsmanship. The eagle's feathers, the clarity of Washington's profile, the precision of the lettering, all stand as testaments to the skill of engravers and the technological capabilities of the mint during that era. As technology evolved, so too did the ability to produce coins of remarkable detail and consistency. Yet even in this precision, the occasional imperfection emerged, creating the rare errors that now command high values. For collectors seeking to add the 1986 quarter to their collections, several factors determine desirability: mint mark, condition, luster, strike quality, and presence of any errors. Coins stored in controlled environments, free from handling and environmental damage, often retain their original mint luster, making them ideal candidates for high grades. Proof coins, struck multiple times with polished dies on specially prepared planchets, exhibit mirror-like surfaces and frosted details, offering a stunning contrast admired by collectors worldwide. The cultural significance of the Washington quarter cannot be overstated. Since its introduction in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, the coin has become a staple of American life. The 1986 issue continues this legacy, circulating through millions of hands, witnessing the everyday exchanges that define the nation's economy. In every transaction, the coin carries with it a silent story of commerce, of trust, of shared identity. To hold a 1986 quarter is to touch a piece of history, a tangible connection to the nation's enduring symbols. Next, 1988 quarter dollar. The United States Mint produced a quarter dollar that has since become a fascinating topic among collectors, historians, and coin enthusiasts. The 1988 quarter may appear to be just an ordinary coin in your pocket change, but its story, design, minting details, and the surprising value it has achieved in recent years make it one of the most talked about pieces in American numismatic history. The coin, minted during a time of economic strength and cultural shifts in the late 1980s, holds not only financial significance but also deep historical importance that connects with the broader narrative of America's evolution. The 1988 quarter, featuring George Washington on the obverse and the iconic eagle on the reverse, stands as a reminder of American pride and tradition, yet beneath its simple appearance lies a treasure that could be worth far more than its face value. Some rare versions, special mint errors, and exceptionally preserved examples have fetched astonishing prices at auctions, driving collectors worldwide to search through their change in hopes of discovering this valuable gem. The 1988 Washington Quarter was part of the long-running Washington Quarter series that began in 1932 to celebrate the bicentennial of George Washington's birth. The design, created by sculptor John Flanagan, became one of the most recognized in American coinage history. The obverse depicts a left-facing portrait of George Washington, symbolizing leadership and resilience. Above his head is the word liberty, with the national motto, "In God We Trust," inscribed to the left, and the date, 1988, prominently displayed at the bottom. The reverse showcases a bold American eagle with spread wings perched on a bundle of arrows, a symbol of strength and readiness to defend freedom, encircled by olive branches representing peace. The inscriptions, United States of America, and E Pluribus Unum, frame the top, while quarter dollar marks the denomination below. In 1988, the U.S. Mint struck these coins at three primary locations: Philadelphia, No Mint Mark; Denver, D Mint Mark; and San Francisco, S Mint Mark, primarily for proof coins. Billions of quarters rolled off the presses that year, intended for everyday use in an America buzzing with consumer confidence, economic growth, and the final years of the Cold War. Though the majority of these coins entered circulation and remain worth only their face value of 25 cents, certain examples have proven to be extraordinary. It is these rare pieces, those struck with minting errors, high grades, or unique characteristics, that have captured the attention of collectors and driven their value to unimaginable levels. Some of the most notable 1988 quarters include era varieties like off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planches, and broad strikes. These rare flaws, often the result of mechanical issues during minting, make each affected coin unique. In the world of coin collecting, rarity equals value, and even a slight imperfection can transform a regular coin into a treasure worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. For example, a 1988 D quarter with a dramatic double die on the obverse could sell for several $100s, while an off-center error showing part of the design missing might bring in over $1,000 depending on its condition. But beyond mint errors, condition is the most critical factor in determining a coin's worth. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale, ranging from poor, P1, to perfect mint state, MS, 70. Most 1988 quarters in circulation show heavy wear, scratches, and discoloration, placing them in low grades. However, uncirculated examples, especially those graded MS, 67 or higher, are extremely scarce. These pristine specimens, with full luster, sharp details, and no visible marks, have sold at auctions for thousands of dollars. A perfect MS 70 example, if ever found, could command astronomical prices, possibly exceeding tens of thousands, given its rarity and collector demand. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint, struck with special dies and polished planches, are also highly collectible. These coins were never intended for circulation and feature mirror-like surfaces with frosted details. A flawless 1988 S-proof quarter graded PR 70 deep cameo is a stunning example of mint craftsmanship and can be worth hundreds, especially to collectors completing full proof sets. The story of the 1988 quarter is also a reflection of American culture at the time. The late 1980s was a period of optimism and transition. The United States was asserting itself as a global superpower, technology was advancing rapidly, and popular culture was booming with music, movies, and television shaping a new generation. The coin in your hand, minted in that era, carries a piece of that history, a small but tangible link to the spirit of the time. Over the years, as coin collecting grew in popularity, the hunt for valuable quarters intensified. People began searching their change, hoping to uncover hidden treasures. The Washington Quarter series, in particular, became a favorite among collectors for its long history, design continuity, and the potential for valuable finds. The 1988 quarter stands out as a sleeper coin, one that might seem common but can surprise those who know what to look for. Auction records reveal just how significant these coins can become. In some cases, high-grade 1988 D quarters have fetched over $1,000, while rare era coins have crossed the $5,000 mark. Collectors often pay premium prices for coins with eye appeal, perfect strike, and full original luster. The combination of rarity, demand, and condition creates the perfect storm for skyrocketing values. And while most 1988 quarters remain in circulation or in bulk coin collections, a small number of exceptional examples are now considered priceless pieces of numismatic art. But what truly captivates collectors is the potential. The possibility that a simple coin from 1988 could be worth a fortune inspires people to search relentlessly through coin rolls, old jars, and inherited collections. The idea that a 25-cent piece could be valued at $88 million seems unbelievable, yet the symbolic face value assigned to these coins in the narrative of worth big money captures the imagination. It highlights the blend of history, rarity, and human fascination that drives the coin market. Beyond monetary value, coins like the 1988 quarter remind us of the importance of preservation. Properly storing coins in protective holders, avoiding handling with bare hands, and keeping them away from moisture and chemicals can preserve their beauty and value for generations. Collectors understand that each coin is a time capsule, an artifact that has witnessed decades of change and still bears the marks of the past. The U.S. Mint's legacy in producing the Washington quarter is unmatched. From its inception in 1932 to the modern state and national park quarters, this coin has carried forward a tradition of honoring the nation's first president while adapting to the times. The 1988 edition, bridging the classic Eagle Reverse and the coming Statehood series, holds a unique place in the timeline. It represents the final years of a design that defined American coinage for over half a century. For anyone interested in discovering the value of their 1988 quarter, the first step is examination. Look for the mint mark, P, D, or S, located on the obverse near Washington's ponytail. Inspect the coin under good lighting for errors or unusual features. Check for sharp details and luster, and if it appears uncirculated, consider having it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. These organizations authenticate and assign grades, providing a reliable measure of value for collectors and investors alike. The fascination with coins like the 1988 quarter lies not just in their potential to bring wealth but in their ability to connect us with history. Each coin tells a story of the year it was made, the people who used it, and the events that shaped its journey. The 1988 quarter has likely passed through countless hands, purchased countless items, and traveled through decades, yet it remains a silent witness to history. Today, collectors from around the world seek out coins like this one, drawn by the allure of hidden fortune and the joy of discovery. The coin market continues to evolve, with prices fluctuating based on trends, demand, and the availability of high-quality specimens. Those who hold rare or graded 1988 quarters may find their investment appreciating over time, as fewer pristine examples remain. The allure of the 1988 quarter also ties into the broader appeal of American coinage. The artistry, symbolism, and history embedded in each design tell the story of a nation's journey. From the founding fathers to modern achievements, every coin serves as a miniature monument to the American spirit. In the grand tapestry of U.S. numismatics, the 1988 quarter may not be the rarest, but its significance lies in its accessibility and the dreams it inspires. It's a reminder that even the smallest, most ordinary object can hold extraordinary value when viewed through the lens of history and passion. For those lucky enough to find a rare or era 1988 quarter, the reward can be life-changing. Some may discover coins worth hundreds or thousands, while others may hold onto them as family heirlooms, symbols of patience, curiosity, and appreciation for the past. So next time you come across a 1988 quarter, take a closer look. It could be more than just a piece of change, it could be a hidden treasure with a story worth telling. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a curious beginner, the journey of discovering these coins is a rewarding adventure that blends history, art, and fortune. Next, 1989 quarter dollar. The vast and fascinating world of coin collecting. Few coins have managed to capture the imagination of historians, numismatists, and collectors quite like the 1989 United States quarter dollar. Born in an era of transition, innovation, and subtle change, the 1989 quarter represents not just 25 cents of spending power, but a small yet significant artifact from a time when the United States was redefining itself both economically and culturally. Every coin tells a story, and the 1989 quarter dollar carries with it a narrative that bridges decades of history, minting precision, and the evolving identity of a nation on the cusp of modernity. For many collectors, what may appear as an ordinary coin in circulation hides a deep reservoir of history, artistry, and sometimes astonishing value. In rare cases, select specimens of the 1989 quarter have become the subject of fascination due to their condition, errors, rarity, or provenance, driving their worth into unimaginable figures, with some stories pointing to face values and collectible valuations soaring as high as $89 million, cementing their place among the most coveted treasures in American numismatic lore. The quarter dollar, featuring the familiar profile of George Washington, stands as one of the most recognizable and enduring symbols of American currency. Designed originally in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of Washington's birth, the coin's obverse has remained largely consistent across decades, with only minor adjustments to its design and metal composition. By the time the 1989 issue was struck, the United States Mint had already gone through several historical transitions, moving from silver to clad coinage in 1965, adapting new minting technologies, and facing the challenges of maintaining quality in mass production. The 1989 quarter continued this proud lineage, representing an era when the mint perfected the art of high-volume production while balancing precision and consistency. Coins minted in 1989 came primarily from three locations: the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. The Philadelphia coins bore no mint mark, the Denver issues carried a small D mint mark, and the San Francisco Mint produced proof coins bearing the S mark, primarily for collectors and special sets. These proof coins, struck on specially prepared planchets with polished dies, often showcased mirror-like fields and frosted devices, making them prized pieces for anyone seeking a flawless example of the year's mintage. While most 1989 quarters circulated widely, enduring wear and tear from everyday transactions, certain pristine examples, especially those graded at the highest levels by professional services, have become incredibly valuable in today's market. One cannot fully appreciate the 1989 quarter without understanding the cultural and economic backdrop of the United States during that period. The late 1980s marked a time of technological advancement, shifting global relations, and economic optimism. The nation was emerging from earlier recessions, industries were embracing innovation, and Americans were increasingly drawn to collecting hobbies, from stamps and trading cards to coins. The U.S. Mint, ever aware of public interest, continued to produce coins with attention to detail, ensuring each struck piece carried the same blend of functionality and artistry that had characterized American currency for decades. The 1989 quarter features the classic obverse portrait of George Washington, sculpted by John Flanagan. His depiction, based on the 18th century bust by Jean-Antoine Houdon, embodies strength, dignity, and leadership. The inscriptions include "Liberty" across the top, "In God We Trust" to the left, and the date, 1989, below. The reverse, unchanged since 1932, showcases a majestic bald eagle with wings outspread, clutching arrows symbolizing defense, and olive branches representing peace. Above the eagle, United States of America arcs gracefully, with the denomination quarter dollar inscribed at the bottom. The motto, E Pluribus Unum, sits proudly above the eagle's head, a testament to unity and diversity in a growing nation. For collectors, the fascination with the 1989 quarter lies not merely in its design, but in the nuances that set certain specimens apart. Mint errors, for instance, can transform an otherwise ordinary coin into a numismatic marvel. Double strikes, off-center errors, clipped planchets, or missing clad layers are just some of the anomalies that occur during minting. Such errors, when preserved in good condition, command high premiums at auction. Reports of a few rare 1989 quarters with striking anomalies or unique minting characteristics have sparked interest, with some fetching thousands or even millions in special circumstances, depending on rarity, demand, and provenance. Condition, of course, remains paramount in determining a coin's worth. Grading agencies such as the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, and the Numismatic Guarantee Company, NGC, evaluate coins on a scale from 1 to 70, with mint state, MS, grades indicating uncirculated examples. Coins graded MS 68 or higher are exceedingly rare for circulation strikes from 1989, given the challenges of preserving flawless surfaces over decades. Proof coins from San Francisco, when preserved in perfect PR 70 condition, can also command impressive sums due to their perfection and collector appeal. Add in the allure of provenance or historical connection, and the coin's value can ascend to truly staggering figures. While most 1989 quarters remain worth their face value of 25 cents, select examples have been appraised and sold for thousands of dollars under the right conditions. Some collectors believe that a small handful of uniquely preserved or error-bearing 1989 quarters have crossed into the realm of near-mythical valuation, achieving estimated face values in symbolic figures like $89 million, a nod to their year of mintage and a reflection of their symbolic worth in numismatic storytelling. Though such valuations are often tied to legend, symbolism, or collector enthusiasm rather than strict market data, they underscore the deep fascination that coins can inspire, blending fact, history, and imagination into a narrative of value that transcends currency. Beyond financial worth, the 1989 quarter serves as a tangible link to an era gone by. Holding one is like grasping a fragment of American history, a testament to the enduring legacy of the mint and the everyday lives of millions who used it for purchases, savings, or simply as pocket change. For historians, the coin stands as an artifact reflecting craftsmanship and continuity. For collectors, it embodies the thrill of discovery and the hope of unearthing hidden treasure. And for the casual observer, it's a reminder that even the smallest objects can carry stories of immense significance. Over time, the study of coins like the 1989 quarter has fostered a community of enthusiasts who seek knowledge, preservation, and passion. Numismatics is not merely about wealth, it is about curiosity, connection, and the celebration of art and history through currency. The 1989 quarter, with its elegant simplicity and enduring symbolism, embodies these values perfectly. Each coin tells a story of the people who struck it, the hands it passed through, and the moments it witnessed in circulation. Perhaps it jingled in the pocket of a student buying a soda, or rested in the change drawer of a small-town diner, silently passing through the chapters of countless lives. Collectors often reflect on how coins bridge generations. A quarter minted in 1989 could today rest in a display case beside centuries-old relics, linking past and present through metal, design, and purpose. As the United States continues to evolve, its coinage chronicles these transformations. The 1989 quarter is a chapter in that ever-growing narrative, representing stability amid change, tradition amid innovation. In the grand tapestry of American coinage, certain dates resonate louder than others, not merely for rarity but for their symbolic resonance. The 1989 quarter, representing a year rich with cultural milestones, from the fall of the Berlin Wall to the dawn of new technological frontiers, mirrors the spirit of transformation and resilience. It's a coin that witnessed an inflection point in world history, carrying with it the subtle weight of its time. Today, the fascination with coins like the 1989 quarter extends beyond monetary value. They are studied, collected, displayed, and cherished for what they represent: craftsmanship, heritage, and the stories that connect generations. The journey of a single quarter, from the coining press to the collector's cabinet, reflects the passage of time, the persistence of memory, and the enduring value we assign to objects imbued with meaning. The idea that a coin with a nominal value of 25 cents could be associated with figures as high as $89 million underscores the mysterious and captivating nature of numismatic lore. In certain circles, stories abound of rare finds, misstrikes, and historical anomalies that command eye-popping sums at auction. Whether grounded in documented sales or rooted in legend, these tales serve to ignite passion, curiosity, and hope among collectors worldwide. The notion that a small, seemingly ordinary coin might conceal unimaginable worth invites dreamers to search their pockets and drawers, wondering if fortune might lie hidden in plain sight. Next, 1986 quarter dollar. The United States Mint produced a quarter-dollar coin that would go on to capture the attention of collectors and historians alike, a piece of American coinage that carried more than just its face value of 25 cents. It carried decades of history, economic transition, and craftsmanship that would eventually make certain rare examples worth big money. The 1986 quarter dollar, a part of the Washington Quarter series, holds a unique place in the timeline of American currency, marking a bridge between the classic silver era of coinage and the more modern compositions of copper and nickel. Though millions were minted for circulation, a handful of these coins have become incredibly valuable, sought after for their rarity, minting errors, pristine conditions, and historical significance. Over time, stories began to emerge about 1986 quarters that sold for thousands, even millions, making people around the world take a closer look at the change in their pockets. To understand why the 1986 quarter dollar became so fascinating, it's important to trace the story back to its origins. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. It replaced the standing Liberty quarter and quickly became a mainstay of American coinage. From 1932 through 1964, these quarters were struck in 90% silver, which gave them intrinsic metal value beyond their denomination. However, in 1965, due to rising silver prices, the U.S. Mint transitioned to a clad composition of copper and nickel, which continued through the 1980s. By 1986, the quarter was a standard clad coin, but its significance was more than just material. It represented a nation's changing economy, evolving minting technology, and the collector's hunt for hidden treasures. The 1986 quarter was minted in 3 primary locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint struck quarters without a mint mark, while Denver's quarters were marked with a D, and San Francisco produced proof coins for collectors with an S mint mark. Each of these mints produced millions of coins, yet within those millions lay a few extraordinary specimens, coins struck with unusual errors, double dies, off-center strikes, or with rare minting conditions that set them apart from the rest. These anomalies became the key to turning a simple 25-cent piece into a fortune. For collectors, the hunt for such pieces became a passion, and over time, the value of the rarest 1986 quarters skyrocketed. Some of the most valuable 1986 quarters ever discovered are those in mint state condition, graded MS68 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. In such pristine states, free of scratches, wear, or discoloration, these coins command prices in the thousands. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint, especially those with deep cameo contrast, can also fetch impressive sums when well preserved. Yet, the real treasures are the era coins, those that escape the mint with noticeable mistakes. A double die obverse, where design elements are duplicated, or an off-center strike, where the image is visibly shifted, can transform the coin's worth exponentially. Collectors have paid extraordinary amounts for these anomalies, viewing them not as flaws but as unique relics of minting history. The fascination with the 1986 quarter also stems from its era. The 1980s were a time of economic transformation in America. Inflation, technological innovation, and global trade shifts all influenced the nation's currency production. The minting techniques were evolving, yet imperfections still occurred, creating rare varieties. The 1986 quarter became a time capsule of this period, symbolizing stability in everyday commerce while secretly harboring valuable variants that would only be recognized decades later. For many, discovering a valuable coin from 1986 is like uncovering buried treasure, a tangible link to history with life-changing financial potential. The Washington portrait on the obverse, designed by John Flanagan, remained a classic depiction of leadership and tradition. The reverse design featuring the American eagle with outstretched wings represented freedom and national pride. Together, they made the 1986 quarter not just a piece of metal but a miniature piece of art circulating through millions of hands, unnoticed for its hidden value. The story of those rare quarters that would later sell for thousands or even millions adds to the mystique of how ordinary objects can carry extraordinary worth. As collectors and treasure hunters scour their change jars and coin rolls, stories circulate of people discovering rare 1986 quarters worth fortunes. Some were found in old coin collections, others in pocket change or bank rolls, proving that even today, valuable coins can still be out there waiting to be found. Auctions have seen top-graded or era 1986 quarters sell for stunning sums, making headlines and sparking new waves of interest in coin collecting. These success stories fuel the dream that anyone might stumble upon a piece of numismatic history, a coin worth for more than its face value. What makes the 1986 quarter dollar even more compelling is its potential face value transformation. Though minted as a 25-cent coin, some of these rare pieces are estimated to hold a face value of up to $86 million in terms of historical and collectible significance, a symbolic figure that reflects their rarity, cultural importance, and desirability among collectors. While not every coin from this year carries such astronomical value, the fact that some examples can reach such heights makes the 1986 quarter one of the most talked about pieces in modern numismatics. It has become a coin that inspires hope, curiosity, and the enduring belief that hidden treasures still exist. The history of this coin also highlights the craftsmanship and precision required in minting. Each coin's details, the sharpness of George Washington's features, the clarity of the eagle's feathers, the brightness of the fields, determine its grade and ultimately its value. Coins that remain untouched, stored in controlled conditions since 1986, have the best chance of achieving top grades, while those with rare errors become one-of-a-kind collectibles. As more collectors and investors turn to numismatics as a way to preserve and grow wealth, coins like the 1986 quarter gain even greater prominence in auctions and private collections. In today's market, a regular circulated 1986 quarter may still only buy a few cents worth of goods, but for collectors, its potential lies in the details. The thrill of inspecting each coin for imperfections, searching for mint marks, and identifying potential rarities has turned coin collecting into both a hobby and an investment opportunity. Social media and online platforms have amplified these discoveries, with viral stories of rare coins worth life-changing sums, further driving interest and engagement among new generations of collectors. The legacy of the 1986 quarter dollar is not merely about money, it's about history, craftsmanship, and the excitement of discovery. It represents a tangible connection to the past, a reminder of how the smallest objects can carry immense stories. Each quarter minted that year passed through countless hands, from vending machines to cash registers, never revealing its hidden potential until careful eyes recognized its uniqueness. The stories of these coins inspire millions to look closer at their change, to imagine the journey each coin has taken, and to hope that they might be holding a piece of history worth for more than its stamped value. For anyone holding onto a 1986 quarter, it's worth examining carefully. Look for mint marks, inspect for sharpness, and pay attention to any unusual features. Seek professional grading if you suspect it might be special. Even if it isn't one of the rare multimillion-dollar varieties, it remains a piece of American history, part of a series that has represented the nation for decades. The lessons it carries, about value, attention to detail, and the unexpected worth in ordinary things, are priceless. As time goes on, the scarcity of high-quality 1986 quarters will only increase, driving up their desirability. Collectors who secure top-graded examples today may find them even more valuable in the future as demand grows and supply diminishes. Just as certain coins from earlier decades have soared in value, so too might the finest 1986 quarters become legendary in the numismatic world. The journey of the 1986 quarter dollar from pocket change to potential multimillion-dollar treasure encapsulates the magic of coin collecting. It's a reminder that value isn't always obvious, that treasures can hide in plain sight, and that the stories behind everyday objects can transform them into symbols of fortune. So, the next time you hold a 1986 quarter, take a moment to appreciate its design, its history, and the possibility that it might be more than just a coin. It might be a link to America's past and a key to future wealth. If you enjoy learning about rare and valuable coins, the history behind them, and how ordinary currency can become worth big money, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. You never know, your next coin discovery could be a 1986 quarter dollar with a face value of $86 million, one of the richest and most remarkable coins in history. Next, 1973 quarter dollar. The long and fascinating journey of American coinage. Every year tells a story, and every coin carries a piece of history in its metal. The 1973 United States quarter dollar is no exception. Minted during a period of economic transition, cultural change, and evolving technology, the 1973 quarter stands as a silent witness to the life and times of a nation on the move. But beyond its humble 25-cent face value, this coin has captured the attention of collectors, historians, and treasure hunters alike for the intriguing tales, rare varieties, and incredible values it holds in the world of numismatics. Today, we dive deep into the world of the 1973 quarter dollar, exploring its creation, its design, its circulation, and the surprising truth that some examples of this coin are worth big money, up to a staggering $73 million in rare and unique cases. The 1973 quarter dollar belongs to the Washington Quarter series, which began in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The design, created by sculptor John Flanagan, features the iconic portrait of George Washington facing left, with the word "Liberty" above, the motto "In God We Trust" to the left, and the date 1973 below. On the reverse, the design showcases a majestic bald eagle with outstretched wings clutching arrows and olive branches, symbolizing strength and peace. The inscriptions, "United States of America," and "E Pluribus Unum," frame the eagle, while "quarter dollar" sits below. During 1973, three main mints were responsible for producing the Washington quarters: the Philadelphia Mint, which produced coins without a mint mark, the Denver Mint, with a D mint mark, and the San Francisco Mint, which issued proof coins bearing their S mint mark. The Philadelphia Mint struck approximately 346 million quarters, while the Denver Mint produced around 232 million. Meanwhile, the San Francisco Mint created over 2.7 million proof coins for collectors. On the surface, these numbers seem enormous, making one assume that 1,973 quarters are common and ordinary. However, rarity in numismatics doesn't always depend on mintage numbers. It often arises from unusual varieties, errors, pristine conditions, and specific minting characteristics that set certain coins apart. And that's where the story of the 1973 quarter becomes truly fascinating. The early 1970s were a turbulent period in American economic history. The country had just moved away from using silver in its quarters after 1964, shifting to a copper-nickel-clad composition that remains in use today. This transition affected not only the appearance and feel of the coins but also their long-term value in collector markets. The 1973 quarter, made of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a core of pure copper, carried a total weight of 5.67 grams and a diameter of 24.3 millimeters. These coins, though modern in composition, quickly became a part of everyday life, exchanged in shops, vending machines, gas stations, and payphones across America. Collectors, however, began noticing subtle variations and mint errors in some of these 1973 quarters. Some were struck off-center, others bore double dies, where the design elements appeared doubled due to slight misalignments during the minting process, and a few were even mistakenly struck on the wrong planches, such as those intended for dimes or foreign coins. These era coins are extremely rare and have sold for astonishing prices at auctions. In pristine, uncirculated condition, particularly in grades like MS67 or higher certified by grading services such as PCGS or NGC, a 1973 quarter can command thousands of dollars. But the most legendary pieces, those with unique errors or perfect preservation, have reached mythical values in collector lore, sometimes being appraised or traded privately for tens of millions. These remarkable coins, with face values of just 25 cents, have become symbols of how hidden treasures can lie unnoticed in the change jar or pocket. To understand why a coin like the 1973 quarter could ever reach a face value of $73 million in historical worth, one must delve into the way rarity and demand work in numismatics. Every coin tells a story, but when that story involves mystery, scarcity, and perfect preservation, it becomes an irresistible prize for collectors. For example, imagine a 1973 quarter struck with a double die obverse, perfectly centered, never circulated, and stored in mint condition for half a century. Such a coin, with its flawless surfaces, brilliant luster, and unique era, becomes a once-in-a-lifetime find. Wealthy collectors, investors, and museums would compete fiercely for ownership, driving its value into unimaginable heights. Auction houses like Heritage and Stack's Bowers have witnessed similarly rare coins fetching millions, proving that in the right conditions, even a small piece of metal can be worth a fortune. But the value of the 1973 quarter is not just in its monetary potential. It's a window into history. The year 1973 marked important events in the United States. The Vietnam War was drawing to a close, the Watergate scandal was unfolding, and the country was adjusting to the oil crisis and inflation. These coins passed through the hands of everyday Americans living through these times, soldiers returning from service, students paying for textbooks, families buying groceries, travelers fueling their cars during long road trips. Each quarter carries traces of those moments, their wear and shine reflecting countless exchanges, stories, and memories. In the world of collecting, provenance and condition are everything. Some 1973 quarters have survived untouched, preserved in original mint sets or proof sets, sealed in protective packaging. These coins, kept in ideal conditions away from air, moisture, and handling, retain their original mint luster. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint are especially beautiful, with mirrored fields and frosted designs. High-grade examples of these proofs, particularly those graded PR70 Deep Cameo, are prized among collectors. A few of these flawless specimens have fetched enormous sums at auctions, showcasing how perfection translates into value. Another factor that drives the fascination with the 1973 quarter is the human element, the thrill of the hunt. Coin enthusiasts around the world search through rolls, collections, and even pocket change, hoping to discover that elusive gem. Stories of ordinary people finding valuable coins in circulation fuel this excitement. Imagine the surprise of discovering a rare 1973 double-die quarter in an old jar of coins inherited from a relative. Such discoveries have happened before, and they remind everyone that treasures often hide in plain sight. When analyzing the coin's design, we see how it reflects the artistry and symbolism of American identity. The obverse portrait of George Washington, based on Jean-Antoine Houdon's 18th-century bust, captures the strength, resolve, and dignity of the first president. The eagle on the reverse, wings spread wide, represents freedom and vigilance. These designs, simple yet powerful, have endured for decades, making the Washington quarter one of the most recognizable coins in the world. Collectors value not only the metal but the meaning. Each quarter is a piece of American heritage. Over time, the Washington quarter design would evolve. In 1976, just 3 years after the 1973 issue, the United States celebrated its bicentennial with a special design featuring a drummer and a torch surrounded by 13 stars. This marked a temporary departure from the traditional eagle reverse. But the 1973 quarter remains part of the classic design era, representing the continuity of tradition before the commemorative wave began. The concept of coins worth millions fascinates people because it blurs the line between everyday objects and priceless artifacts. While most 1973 quarters remain ordinary, those rare examples that stand out, due to errors, grades, or history, become more than money. They become legends. They circulate stories among collectors, are featured in magazines, showcased at coin shows, and sought after by investors. Each transaction adds to their mythos, and as time passes, the surviving high-grade coins grow fewer, their rarity increasing with each passing year. Another intriguing aspect is the face value myth. When enthusiasts refer to a coin's face value being millions, they highlight its symbolic worth in historical or collectible terms rather than its legal tender value. A 1973 quarter will always legally equal 25 cents, but its collectible worth, what someone is willing to pay, can be astronomical. The $73 million figure represents the peak of rarity, demand, and cultural fascination that certain unique specimens might achieve in hypothetical or record-breaking sales. It serves as a reminder that value is not fixed. It's a story told by desire, rarity, and history. The numismatic community often emphasizes education, encouraging collectors to study details, mint marks, die varieties, strike quality, surfaces, and toning. The 1973 quarter offers an excellent case study. A collector examining these coins learns about minting processes, die deterioration, planchet preparation, and quality control in the early 1970s. Through study, one develops an appreciation for the craftsmanship and the occasional human or mechanical error that creates rare varieties. This blend of art, history, and science is what makes numismatics endlessly fascinating.